Mother, tell your children not to walk my way. Tell your children not to hear my words, what they mean, what they say.
Well, hello all, and welcome to another question and answer video with me, Truthslayer. As always, if you have a question or something you would like me to comment on the world of professional wrestling, please send it my way, and I will do the very best I can to do so. All that I ask is you keep it to one question per person, please, and other than that, make it good, and if it's good, I will answer it. So let's get going here. I have a question. I heard recently that ROH Shows, they've been finding flyers that points to a site. For some reason I can't think of the link. At the bottom of the site you can see Project 161. Is this a new storyline or gimmick or of a new wrestler that we have yet to see? What are your thoughts on this? It gets better than that. Last night the Project 161 people spammed, supposedly, the ROH message boards. This is an angle of some sort. The ROH people the fans on the boards have been trying to figure out exactly what this is. No one's really quite sure yet. Some think it might have to do with Adam Pearce, but it's very strange. It's very foreboding. It's very interesting. Hopefully it'll be a hell of an angle, because this is the type of thing that I like, where seems like pretty good thing in my opinion from what I've seen so far. Hey Truthslayer, do you think the Briscoes will remain a tag team as long as both guys are healthy, or do you see them splitting sometime down the road? I personally would rather see them remain a tag team for as long as possible. And they both said in interviews that they aren't too interested in going singles. I've read the same thing. Not only that, but I think the two are far better together than they are apart. And let's face it, there is a big need in this business, not only in the United States but in Japan as well, for what I call main event tag teamers, which are tag teams that can main event, and the Briscoes on ROH's level can do that, and I think eventually as they get more and more exposure they'll be able to do that in Japan as well. So definitely think they do much better together than apart. Hey Truthslayer, on your favorite videos is one video of Chris Jericho pinning ROH for the WWE Championship, but when I looked at Y2J's profile, it shows he didn't beat Triple H. So what happened with that? See, it doesn't have the whole video, and you can see the utter stupidity of this. Basically what happened is Y2J beat Triple H. He's going up the ramp, and then Triple H threw a little hissy fit, and the victory was taken away from Y2J. I can't remember exactly what all happened, but yeah, the victory is basically taken away for Y2J. It was stupid. It was pointless. You saw the fans' reaction when he won. That's kind of why I stuck it up there, so people could see just exactly, you know, what people wanted at that point in time and didn't get. So, let's see. Okay. You said that where a company makes most of their money is at house shows. I was wondering, besides the house shows, where do they make the most money? Is it with merchandise, pay-per-views, or DVDs? The second most amount would, well, the thing is DVDs and merchandise kind of go together. So, and that would be ultimately where I believe, if I'm correct, you make the second most profit. That's what I meant when I said that house shows, because and one of the reasons why house shows make you so much money is because of the merchandise sales at the shows. So that all kind of goes in together as far as house shows go. The next, and I think it depends on everyone's individual deal, but it's either you make your second most amount of money from pay-per-view deals or television, depending on how your deal breaks out. I believe WWE actually makes more money from their pay-per-views than they do their television deals, but I could be wrong on that. But I'm pretty sure that they actually pull in more money from the pay-per-views. So there you go. I know that you live around the Houston area, and I was wondering if you have ever gone to see Booker T's promotion that he has in Houston, or his training school. If not, do you know what it is? Yes, I do. I have been to the promotion, never been to the wrestling school. Don't have any real reason at this point in time to become a professional wrestler, so I've never been to his school. But I have been to the promotion twice. It's pretty good. Luckily, Crazy Mike on here was the one that pointed out to me where it was. I hadn't thought it was open yet and found out that it was. So he pointed to me, and I've been to a couple of shows. They're pretty good for indie shows. They're actually pretty good. They do bring in some WWE talent, which is to be expected, and I enjoyed it. So there you go. I would like to know your opinion on the Rock's wrestling ability. I think I've heard you say that he's a great wrestler. A lot of people think he's overrated. And what is your opinion? I think he's a very entertaining wrestler. I wouldn't call him a great wrestler, but I think he was very entertaining in the ring, and he knew how to play to a crowd, and he knew how to let the guy carry him and do a lot of things he couldn't do in the ring. He understood what he could and couldn't do in the ring. And when you can understand what you can and can't do in the ring as a wrestler, I think that helps you a lot, because then you're not trying to do things you can't do, and you know how to let the other guy do those things and take up the slack to a large extent. So, but I definitely think he was very entertaining. He understood psychology very well, and that helps you make a great wrestler. So I would call him a great wrestler in that to that degree. Let's see, Truthslayer, in your opinion, who do you think deserved a title run in WCW but never got one? I would say off the top of my head, a good, solid title run would be Chris Jericho. I know, he did have a few little title runs, but I'm talking a big, major title run. I think Chris Jericho was the guy that should have gotten one. Most of the guys that, were pushed to that level did eventually get a title run. So there's really no one I would say would deserve. I think there were a lot of guys that got title runs that didn't deserve title runs. I could go off on a tangent about that in WCW. There you go. What's your opinion of the current state of ECW? It seems like every week Elijah Burke, Tommy Dreamer, and others job to Punk, and then at the pay-per-view, Punk jobs to Morrison. Don't you want to see something new? It seems like they have some talent, Corbin, Thorne, but they don't use it right. I would agree with that. I don't think they're using the talent to its full extent, but I also don't think they have the right talent on ECW either. I said this back when I had my my draft vid. I felt they didn't put the right guys on ECW, but I didn't feel they put the right guys on Raw, and I didn't feel like they put the guys on SmackDown either. So, take that for what it is. But I definitely think they do need to move the show around a little bit myself, but that's just me. Randy Orton trashes a hotel room, costs the WWE a lot of money, and smokes crack backstage, and yet he's about to get a WWE title, yep, because of Triple H said so. Do you think WWE is giving him a push because they feel even though he's a jerk, he's far too valuable to get fired or released and then sign with TNA? That's why they haven't fired him. I don't believe they necessarily should fire him, but I definitely think that they, I understand with the injuries they haven't been able to de-push him as much as they want. But here's my problem. Today it was reported that what we found out yesterday about Matt Hardy wasn't really true, and that he may have been sent home due to bad attitude. Well, then why is Randy Orton, who in my opinion is not over as much as Jeff Hardy, is, getting ready to maybe main event SummerSlam? Stupidity, if you ask me. Hey, Truthslayer, which promotion do you think has a better chance of someday taking over WWE, ROH or TNA? I will say ROH simply because, not only because I'm a huge fan of ROH, but because I feel like ROH has the groundwork already set. They have a good foundation with their house shows, and the fact they do so well with their house shows, and the fact that since the pay-per-view, even I've noticed, there's been a much more talk about Ring of Honor, and a lot more people, not just here on YouTube, but also on a lot of the message boards you go to, talking about Ring of Honor, want to know more about Ring of Honor, want to know how they can, check out Ring of Honor. And I would imagine Ring of Honor has been doing this, has noticed this as well, because they just put up a little bulletin on their page about which shows, if you're new to Ring of Honor, which shows to get in their top 12 shows. So there you go. I remember a long time ago, I think it's late 1996, Shawn Michaels and Owen Hart had a match on Raw, and I remember Shawn hitting a clothesline on Owen over the top rope, the outside, and he kind of celebrated to the crowd a bit, and then suddenly he grabbed his head and just collapsed. I remember the refs and even Owen checking him out, wondering exactly what happened. Was this real or some sort of work? If it was a work, what exactly was the point of it? Any big storyline coming of it or something? It was a storyline. I believe, I can't remember exactly why this one happened. It's very similar to the I lost my smile type thing, where he didn't want a job or he didn't want to work a program with somebody, I believe, something along those lines. It might have been a legit injury, but not he had a concussion injury. I think it was just a way to write him out of the WWE for a while, if I remember right.
Let's ride.